The world, they're saying, is getting younger, the competition more intense, the desire to exceed and excel perhaps stronger now than ever before. Youngsters are wanting to try something new, wanting to innovate. No surprises then that a record number of Indian students are now going to study abroad, in the UK figuring very high on their wish list. Let's just try and understand today on all that the UK offers and why students are queuing up in these numbers. With us, a special panel now, Ottilie Rekizar, she's a Regional Director, Education, Marketing and Consultancy, South Asia. Also, Jatin Bhandari, he's a counsellor and someone who's worked with students who want to go abroad to countries like the UK. Anand Dhawan, Arjun Saraswat and Raja Singh all have one thing in common, successful in their own right and having studied in the UK. And of course, a whole host of students and their families wanting to be successful after studying in the UK. They have their eyes set on that course in the UK. We'll get started with you, young man. What is it that attracts you to an education in the UK?
Well, it's the options. The options are not limited. Just like I'll be pursuing my high school in UK. In here, the options are just limited to streams. Several streams, we do not get to select our own subjects. So in UK, there's a wide option. We can get our own subjects on our own choices. So it would give me better, means more specialization in what I wanted to do.
Right. So you obviously put your mind to it and therefore have zeroed in such clarity at a very young age. Many would be quite envious. What about you?
Even I'm pursuing my graduation here in Delhi University. So why I think about UK is because UK understands the 3-year courseware which we have here, and also I get a greater level of specialization there and a great variety of options which I could explore for my future.
What are you looking at exactly?
I'm basically looking at either international relations or international business, and preferably going for an MBA after my graduation here.
Well, there's Lashika behind. If you can just pass the mic. They're looking at something very different in the UK, Lashika.
Well, yes, I would like to go in for high school in United Kingdom. Well, I would like to do it because I want to be a singer. I want to be a musician, and well, UK gives me an option to choose music as my stream in my high school, which is a great deal for a person like me.
Right.
So I would like to take it as a good opportunity and cash it the most.
Okay, how much homework does a parent have to do? I mean, how many hours have you spent trying to figure out where, what, how, etc.?
First of all, I've seen the passion she has towards the field she wants to work about. I mean, she wants to be a musician, she wants to be a singer. So almost 2-3 years back, I could actually make out what she wants, and she was a passionate singer. That is the only thing which I see in her would take her and make her fly high. And as a parent, yes, I completely want my child to be independent, which I think is possible there because she has a lot of passion towards her dream to come true. And I work a lot on her. I leave her independent. She's moving all day, all around, all alone, with, of course, having a stream to work, study, everything. And every night she shares her dream. Mom, I want to go there. And UK is a lovely place to be. I've just been like 2 months back, and it's awesome. And the kind of people there, everything is awesome,
Ottilie, would you say it's this variety, whether you're looking at international relations, an MBA, studying music, which is perhaps attracting students from all backgrounds, all kinds of interest to the UK?
Yes, I mean, I think that the UK offers such a diversity of courses and specialisms to students. Many of these courses have been running for, several decades, and some of them are at the cutting edge of, the latest areas of business and innovation. And students really get to engage not only on an academic level in the UK, but also understand how the outside or non-academic world works by engaging with industry, by engaging with corporates. And a lot of the curriculum in the UK is developed alongside the outside world with visiting lecturers from industry. So I think as well as having this very broad spectrum of specialisms, you've also got courses that can then be applied to the real world,
right.
And real world.
And that's of course very key, because very often what you learn in the classroom, if it becomes difficult to adapt it to the real world, then many sort of stop and wonder what they've they've been doing in the class, which is why perhaps, like you're saying, the UK degree being sort of standing out. If I could just ask you, for instance, what do you believe for you sums up your UK experience?
I guess to sum it up in one word is the exposure. It's the education outside the books. It's the culture that you see. It's the practical knowledge that you get. It's the people you meet from around the world. So one thing that you're learning is not only what's in the books or what's in the notes. It's you meeting people from everywhere around the world. You knowing about their knowledge. You knowing about what they think of what you're working on, and that's pretty much what I was looking at and I got. So that will sum up things for me. It's exposure that you get, which you might not get staying in your home country.
Right. Life in a truly global city, perhaps, Otley. But just quickly, if I could get you to respond to that. There are many students who, of course, want to go for that experience as well. To them, getting the degree is important. But the experience of it, of living in, a world-class city, living in a country like the UK, also very critical.
Well, I think the exciting thing about the UK is that if you're a student, an international student there, almost all UK universities have, a large proportion of their student body is from overseas. And we have over 400,000 international students studying in the UK. So not just from South Asia or East Asia, but also a huge number of European students. But as well as that, all of our cities, our big cities, are very, international in their own right.
What about you? To all those that you're hearing, they want to go out, they've zeroed in on the UK. You've been there, done that. What would you say to them about studying in the UK? What are the top 3 things perhaps that worked for you?
Okay, a couple of reasons, and to name a few. The first one, of course, would be the advanced curriculum that we have in the UK. Apart from that, it's also the innovative ways of teaching, whether it's a work group system where you have a group of people with 5 different people from different nationalities who are studying together. So apart from getting an insight into the culture of the countries that these people are coming from, it's also 5 different people coming together. So there's lots of ideas, there's generation of ideas, which is the biggest thing, I feel. Apart from that, it's also the people who are teaching. These people are professionals. They've had 15 to 20 years of experience, and then they come back to the classroom, and then they're sharing their knowledge. Apart from that, the last thing, I guess, the biggest thing is independence. It teaches you to stand on your own. You're staying away from your family, because in India, the family culture is very, very strong.
I remember a couple of years ago, I can say for certain in my time, nobody really knew what they were doing or what, where their aptitude really was. There was less information also, of course, available. But do you believe that this is the clarity that they now have helps them to identify just what they want instead of, just experimenting or trying things out? They're so focused, like all around you, everyone's focused. I'm going to the UK, this is what I want. If I don't get this is what I'm going to take. They almost sorted in a sense.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the digital world has opened up, a whole host of information that we never had, 5 or 10 years ago. So I remember when I applied for university, our school just had this sort of booklet that had a list of universities that we could choose from, and very little information and nothing online. So I think the digital revolution has obviously made things much easier for people. Students today are doing a lot of ground research, but it's a big investment. Studying anywhere, it determines your future. So it's important to spend that time really thinking about, what you love and what you really enjoy doing, and follow that path, because then you'll become successful at your studies. Be honest, don't pretend, that you want to do, history if that really isn't your subject area, just because your parents are pushing you into doing it. So really sort of dig deep and think carefully. But I think students today are also thinking beyond just the studies and starting to think about their careers after study, and that's what's changed possibly in the world now, is really where is this going to take me, both financially but also sort of emotionally in my life.
One key role in studying abroad, studying in the UK, of course, is the role of scholarships, and the big role for many students that scholarships play in easing the burden, in making that your dream come true. You're somebody who's got a full scholarship. Now, for all those who are watching, we get so many queries to say we want to study, or we want to study in the UK, but help us in identifying the right scholarship. What would you say? How did you do it?
For someone who is looking for a scholarship, there are a number of scholarships. and there are a number of scholarships that are awarded to you on the basis of different things that you do in school.
Right.
So it's a mixed bunch. It's not just academics.
Right.
It's a mixed bunch of sports, co-curricular, and academics. For you to go out there and find out, I wouldn't say that you need to go to a counselor.
Right.
You go to the university website, and the university website probably by far is the most accurate
Right.
form of a platform where you can get information.
Right.
And that is exactly what I did, and that's exactly what I would recommend someone else to do.
The idea, of course, ultimately being just to get the information out there, because when one has been researching, there's no dearth of scholarships. It's just that you need to know that there could be one for you, and perhaps just go after the ones that you believe are the best fit. Would that be fair?
Yes, I mean the UK at the moment, this year, we have about £500 million of scholarships for Indian students, covering about 600 students. And the three main scholarship schemes that we run under the British High Commission are the Great Scholarships, the Chevening Scholarships, and also the Commonwealth scholarships. So those are the sort of big government scholarships, and anybody who is interested in applying to those or wants to find out more can go to the Education UK website or to the Great India website. But apart from that, as our alumni said, you know, most UK universities have dedicated scholarships for Indian students, but it requires a little bit of digging, you know, through their website and contacting their admissions or international office team to find out what scholarships are available. And you know, my experience, you know, in the UK is that, you know, quite often students, you know, universities don't give out all of their scholarships because students find it, you know, difficult to get the information. A lot of students don't apply for scholarships that they would be, you know, eligible for. So I think it's very worthwhile for students to look at those two routes for the UK. Look at the big scholarship schemes that the British Council and British High Commission are running, and then also approach the university directly and ask them what scholarships are available.
Right. Right. So you're saying don't just focus on one, do everything, do your homework, go after it, and don't rest till you really have an answer, because it's possible that it's out there. You just don't know that it's there and there is one for you. Well, we're looking at the advantages of studying abroad, studying in the UK in particular. We're slipping into a quick break, back in a moment.